Okay, so today's topic is maybe going to be a bit controversial for some, but I'm going to be talking about whether ABM is right for your go to market team and your go to market strategy. And when I talk about ABM, I mean more traditional enterprise marketing ABM, where you're actually selecting key accounts or have large accounts with high value that you're going after and doing more personalized marketing for them. A lot of companies are a bit confused on what is ABM. A lot of them, I think it's doing it at scale. Partially, part of the problem is what vendors have been telling them or what the people who are selling something to try and get them to do ABM. But going back to the roots of ABM, it's really targeted toward high value accounts. So before you buy a platform, before you start to figure out if your company should actually, do ABM, which we get this question a lot, here are some questions to just ask yourself and what we would probably ask the client too at CS2. So the first one is, do you have a list of key accounts that you're ready to strategically prospect and target with marketing and sales? So key accounts, it doesn't mean thousands. It means like handfuls. And these key accounts could literally like change your business if you landed them. The second question that we would ask is, does your CEO even have a list of accounts that if you acquired would literally change your business? So if that's like Meta or Google or oracles of the world, like large companies that could materially impact your business, just acquiring them, it's probably a good case for ABM. Third question, if your TAM is large, does your go to market team want to prioritize a small target list of accounts that bring in large deals? So the key here is, even though you have a large set of accounts that you could go after, do you have the ability to work with sales to actually prioritize some of those accounts that you have a higher propensity with, but actually more importantly, that they're high value? If you just have a large TAM and you're like, I'm unsure on how to even whittle these down, or the team isn't able to actually figure out which ones they should go after, it's probably showing a sign that maybe ABM isn't the right go to market strategy. Number four, is your ASP high enough to justify hyper personalized marketing and sales? So you can kind of see a theme here. We're focusing on high value accounts, but also some companies just might not have a very high ASP at all, even if you're selling into large accounts. And so it might be more of a volume play that you're going after. So you're trying to acquire a ton of customers. And then maybe over time, as you've kind of exhausted that market and you've able to grow and get even like backing because of that amazing growth, that maybe then you would kind of go up market into like the enterprise or whatnot. The fifth one, so do you have alignment between marketing and sales where they can actually work together on account plans and orchestrate campaigns together to land a deal? Honestly, this should be number one. But if you don't have the alignment between marketing and sales to actually orchestrate what needs to be done to get into large accounts and make it ABM, it's just not going to work. Okay, I did promise a sixth bonus one, and I actually think that this is a great one to uncover as well and be really honest with yourself and the team on if it makes sense at all in general. So, do you have the resources? And when I say resources, I mean budget, time, and people to do highly targeted and personalized marketing to large accounts. And what does that mean? That could mean personalized direct mails, pitch decks, landing pages, going to enterprise events where that team, is going to be there to get literally in front of them. It's doing executive dinners, taking them to ballpark games, all doing the schmoozing. That's a ton of work, a ton of effort, a ton of money. If you don't have the resources to do that, you probably won't be able to actually do, you know, true ABM or enterprise marketing. So I think that that also is a big determinator. If you're a small company that, is trying to figure out whether you should do ABM, I think then you need to then figure out if you can acquire the resources to really do it, if you still answered yes to all the rest of the questions. If you answered no to any of those questions, or basically all of them, because I think a lot of them fall into the same kind of line of thinking, then it's like you're just not a candidate, or maybe not even ready for traditional enterprise account based marketing as a go to market strategy. And honestly, instead, it would benefit maybe more from targeted outbound, preferably one that's signal based. And I know signals, we hear this a lot right now, and people are unsure what signals mean. And you're like, well, how do I get those signals? A signal can be more than just first party and third party intent. You can have different types of signals depending on who your audience is, or like wedge, or even past performance of campaigns. It could be compelling events like a security breach or a champion moving to a new company, or you can have opportunistic signals like a company just bought a competitor of yours. Um, and you can actually differentiate yourself from that competitor. So signals can have different flavors of them too, based on how easily you can get that data and then what's going to be right for your company. And operationalizing those campaigns would be a lot easier. You likely need less people. You can surface them to sales a bit easier, and maybe use, channels that are a bit easier to spin up, like email, calling, LinkedIn messaging, maybe even like some direct mail, and personalize them a little bit, but it doesn't take a lot of money to do that marketing to that one account. So those are the questions, 5 questions plus a bonus one to think about. Hope that was useful.